Yes, we have changed the schedule a little bit, tweaked it a little bit. Instead of starting with prayers for half an hour, we decided that let the discourse start, let the important thing get more time, and also Dakshinamurty hymn, that itself being a great prayer, we don't need another separate time for prayers. So it serves both purposes. So I requested Swamiji and he very kindly consented to this change. And so we will begin with the discourse right away.
Om Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapatme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu. So friends, we will continue our discussion. Swamiji was very kind to allot me half an hour more. By experience he learned his lesson. And he also told something, I want to share it with you all. As this 10 to 10:30 is supposed to be praying time. He said, let Swami continue and then we will pray later. Before we start, let me summarize what we discussed yesterday. This whole universe that we experience through our five sense organs, we experience through the mirror of our mind. This is the most important point. That what we experience, we do not know. But what we experience inside our mind, that is all we know. In other words, I am seeing you. I know there is something outside. But all that I know is not what you are in your entirety, in your reality, but first of all, how I perceive you. As an example, if I have cataract, I will see you in one way. Even physically also, when your picture falls on my mind, I see it in different ways, different colors. Under different shades of sunlight, you appear of various colors. Fortunately, I am not an artist, otherwise I would have seen much more coloring. Secondly, mentally, I look at you through so many filters. Nationality filter, linguistic filter, religious filter, and economic filter, sociological filter. See, each one of us look at any object in this world not as it exists, but as it falls on the mirror of our heart. What is the lesson of this? The lesson is that if I want to enjoy my life, then I have to I should make my filters very clean, clear. And that is spiritual practice. This is the first point. Now, yesterday we talked about dream and waking state and all that. Whenever we take the example of dream, The idea that comes to our mind is it's all unreal. I think nothing can be further from truth. There is no unreality. Unreality doesn't exist. We never experience unreality. Linguistically, yes. Realistically, no. Linguistically, I can tell you. Yesterday, I had marvelous time at dinner with the son of a barren woman. Linguistically beautiful, but it makes no meaning. The barren woman doesn't bear any sons. So, unreality doesn't exist. I can never experience it. That is the point, most important point is that everything is real. Then what are the scriptures talking about from morning till evening, from page 1 to infinite number of pages? Unreal, 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 the world is unreal. What does it mean? It means my perception of the reality is distorted. This distortion takes place through 3 factors: time, space, and causation. Classical example, a rope and a snake. Now, the snake, is it real or unreal? Usually we use the word unreal. Now, first of all, it is not unreal, because if it is unreal, then you are making the rope also unreal. So long as the rope is there, the snake would never be unreal. Then what is the reality of the snake? The snake is real only as perceived through the filter of time, space and causation. Remove them. And the snake is exactly like appears as rope, as nothing else but as rope. Rope looked at under imperfect conditions and is perceived as a snake. In that sense, nothing is unreal. But in the beginning, to develop our right perception, we should withdraw our mind. That is the meaning of retreat. Understand retreat? In wars, people retreat. The retreat is not going, retreat means to go back. To go back so that you have a better strategy and you have recoup, and then you attack the enemy. Spiritual retreat is going back. Where do we retreat to? God. And then we come back and with fresh eyes. Then we look and we say, okay, there is nothing to retreat from. Because previously what I thought was the snake, now I see exactly like a rope. What is there to be retreated? This is the idea. So these 2 ideas. When we say the dream is unreal, only in the sense that it is not non-existent something, but it is experiencing reality in a distorted way. And what is that reality? It is me. Who is the dreamer? Me. The dream is none other than perception of my own self in a distorted way. Is it possible to perceive oneself in a distorted way? Yes. I will give an example. If you go to a museum, you will come across 3 types of mirrors: concave mirror, convex mirror, and a normal mirror. When you stand in front of a concave mirror, your reflection is distorted. That is the only way to gain weight without undergoing the punishment. And if you stand in front of a convex mirror without taking any medicine, obesity problem is solved. but the buildings need to be, the roof of the building needs to be raised high. But when we stand in front of the right mirror, then it reflects exactly as we are. Now this world always is either convex or concave mirror. What is the world? Time, space and causation. Where is the world? The world is, there is no world outside. There is an object outside, but there is no world outside. We perceive that object either as a world or as the object, real object. But the problem is not outside. The problem is inside. And what is that problem? Our mind. And our mind consisting of how many? 3 factors. What are they? Time, space and causation. So this is the most important point. There is, first of all, my perception of what is outside is entirely lies within myself. Secondly, there is nothing unreal. Everything is real. I am also real. The world also is real. Forget the real in the sense that it is nothing but the Lord. Unreal means distortion of the Paramatma, the divine reality. Otherwise, so many students I have come across, it is unreal, unreal, unreal. What do you mean by unreal? True unreality doesn't exist. Nasato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate satah. The existence never attains to status of non-existence, and that which is non-existent can never come into being. This is one of the most fundamental principles of Vedanta, which is so beautifully put by the Divine Lord Krishna in the 2nd chapter, I think 15th or 16th verse, 2nd chapter. So these 2 points, very important. Again and again, we have to understand this. Everything depends upon me, how I perceive. So the change must come from within myself. And what is outside? There must be an object outside. Otherwise, where is the sense of trying to experience it? If there is nothing, I cannot experience. So what is the nature of that object? That would be the subject matter of the 2nd verse we are going to deal with now. So these 2 points, nothing is unreal, and what is real? My perception is the only reality I know. I am dreaming. Who is to be blamed? If it is a good dream, who is to be thanked? Myself. If it is a horrible dream, who is to be blamed? My own self. This is the simple fact. So let us remove this filter from our own mind. So I mentioned concave and convex mirrors. What is the right mirror? The Guru is right mirror. When we have faith in Guru and the disciple follows the instructions of the Guru, what does he become? He becomes Guru-like. When he becomes Guru-like, then his perception is like a normal mirror. He knows, oh, this is what I am without any coverings. That is why again the Bhagavad Gita gives Sthita Prajna Lakshanas. At the end of the 2nd chapter in the Gita, characteristics of a perfect person. Why are they given? By practicing them, we become perfect. When we become perfect, those characteristics become very natural. You don't need to do it. So that is the idea. These 2 ideas let us keep in mind. So the whole universe that we experience at this moment is like a city seen in a mirror, or like our experience of a dream. What is the idea? There is a medium. That medium is none other than our own mind. But I am experiencing it. It depends upon me. There is a mirror, good mirror. But if I close my eyes, what happens? If I look at it slantingly, how it happens? If I put on black specs and look, then what happens? No, if you put black specs and look at me, how do I appear? Only black. Yeah. So the problem is with us. We have to correct our sight, not somebody else's sight, our own sight. This idea, if it is clear, then the point comes. Okay, I am seeing something. There must be something. There must be a rope. What is that rope? What is the nature of that rope? Okay, I am seeing. Simply it doesn't appear to me just because I am imagining. Even to imagine, there must be a support to imagine. Suppose I am imagining, I am a bird flying like this. There must be space for me to fly. Suppose imagine, stupid fellows imagining I am a bird like that. Then suddenly he sees a big net. He is caught. He says, I want to fly from there. I see everything clear. But when I go there, I fall down. Why? Because there is a huge mirror there. I was thinking it is all clear. There must be something for me to experience, even to distort. I must have something. We get the point? There must be some object to experience, to see it right or to see it wrongly and to blame it. There must be somebody to blame, Yeah, if I am angry, my mother-in-law, and unfortunately mother-in-law has gone away to India. But I must find something. So I find the cooking utensil, or I find a cat and then blame it. There must be something. What is that something? That's what is the subject matter of the second one. Bijasya antariva ankuro jagadidam pra nirvikalpa punaha maya kalpita desha kala kalana vaichitriya chitrikritam mayavi iva vijrumbhetyapi mahayogi vaya swechaya tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye namaidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. This universe, undifferentiated at first, like a sprout within the seed, becoming manifold through Maya's aspects of time and space, that universe who projects, he projects by his own desire, like a musician or a great yogi. Salutations unto him, Sri Dakshinamurty, in the form of my own teacher. This whole universe, first verse talks about our individual universe, and each one of them, each one of us live in our own universe. Example is, if 100 of us go to sleep, 100 of us create a dream world, isn't it? Your dream world is different, my dream world is different, each one of our dream world is totally different. If we are 100 people, 100 dream worlds. If we are million people, million dream worlds. If we are 7 billion, 7 billion. Even an insect also will have its own dream world. Wonderful world. An insect is being chased by a bigger insect. What do you think the bigger insect's dream would be? It would be full of smaller insects. Only it has to stretch out its hand or beak and it falls. What would be the smaller insect's dream world? There will be 100, barbed wire fences between itself and the bigger insect. Each one of our dream worlds is totally different. But what would be the universal one dream world of the Divine Lord? who is the originator of this dream world? We are like, in a way of speaking. I just imagine I go to sleep, then I am giving a talk. In my dream, I am giving a talk, and all of you are attending my talk. And I am telling, now close your eyes and dream. And all of you are having your own individual dream world. But who created all of you in the first place? So that is a question you cannot determine. You can break your heads. Who created me? Who is my creator? You will never know it. But I know, because I have created all of you and said, children, go to dream. And that is one command that nobody would ever disobey. Yeah. Even if I don't tell also, they will do that. And they will tell, we know what you want us to do. First class disciples you will become. Right. So, the second verse deals with the entire, what is that object? Or to give again the other example, I am walking and I see suddenly a snake. This is a point we all have to keep in mind. We don't see both the rope and the snake at the same time. So I see the snake. To see the snake, there must be a rope. Without a rope, I can never see a snake. If there is no dry sand, I can never see water. If there is no space, then I cannot see a flower in the sky. So even to see a delusion, I need something. But what is the nature of that something? That's what he's telling. This universe, this entire universe which is experienced by us through our five senses, at first, before the creation, what was it like? Undifferentiated, like a sprout within the seed. This is the most wonderful word. Bija. Bija means a seed. Now a seed gives us two different, what is called understandings. First of all, you take, for example, seed of a apple tree, or a mango tree, or rice. Doesn't matter what seed. Suppose there are 100 seeds. What do you see? Do you see anything difference? You never see any difference. You see, all seeds look exactly alike. Why? Because it is unmanifest. They are all exactly in one state. What is that state? Unmanifested state. But you plant them. Each plant would be, you can simply differentiate. You can extend this example. You take 100 human seeds. 100 human seeds. You put them under microscope and go and see. Not only, I am not talking about different people's seeds. Even one person's seed you take. Can you see any difference? But if those human seeds become human babies and human beings, one may become Ravanasura, another may become Kumbhakarna, another may become Vibhishana, one may become Hitler, another may become Mahatma Gandhi, another may become Ramakrishna Paramahamsa. Anything. Do you see what is the wonderful thing? Undifferentiated. This is the first idea. So yesterday we discussed already all these important ideas. In a seed form, more or less we discussed yesterday. What is the idea? What is birth? Something that is remaining in an unmanifested state becomes manifested, we call it birth. What is death? That which is manifested goes back to its original state of non-manifestation. There is no birth or death. These are all like wave. When water comes a little bit above its normal level, you call it wave. And when it goes back to its normal state, you call it water. So the wave is nothing but water all the time. This is the first idea we have to know about bija. Bija means seed. Seed means undifferentiated, unmanifested. But the second idea is even more important. That also we discussed. What is it? If it is a mango seed, what tree would it become? Mango tree. So if it is apple seed, then it becomes only. Now, what is the point? Who can produce a mango seed? Only a mango tree. And who can produce an apple seed? Only an apple tree. That means the nature of the seed determines the manifestation, and it cannot change. So what is this idea here? If this whole universe is in this state of a seed, now what is the nature of that seed? Marvelous idea. This very word seed is a marvelous idea. So when this whole universe was in the state of seed, do you see this is an Indian, this is a Christian, this is an intellectual, this is a dull, this is man, this is woman? Can we see any such difference? But the differentiation comes later on. And then all the troubles come, problems come. But in the state of non-manifestation, is there any problem? Absolutely no problem. Similarly, in our what we call the sleeping state, is there any problem? Because there is absolutely no difference at all. Man, woman, even the difference between I am a devotee, this is a fellow called God, and he came unfortunately, that's why he became God, first come, first served. That idea also is not there. No problem at all. But in the seed state there is no problem. That is to say everything is absolutely samyavastha, absolutely equal. That is the understanding of bija. What is the second understanding? Even more important. If the seed has come from God, then the seed can manifest only what? Only God? That is the idea you are going to hear for the next few months. Swamiji will explain 15th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. The very first verse would tell, this root of this universe is from God. It is invisible. It is supported by God. The root supports the plant. But here root, we are not talking about root. We are talking about the seed. The cause. We are not talking about root. Because root also comes only from a seed. First to root, then seed. No. First to seed. Yeah. And if you don't understand, you go to the state, you become seedy. You should become seed, not seedy. So, what is the second important idea? The whole universe comes from where? From God. In fact, we call it seed not because it is small, because we do not understand it. That is an important idea in Vedanta. It is not a seed. It is the whole reality. It is fully manifested reality. But we call it seed because as we understand it, something comes out of a seed. So we use the same analogy. So this whole universe, it must have come from a seed. The idea of seed is a very interesting idea. seed is very small. A banyan seed, how small it is. Any seed will be very small. And then slowly it grows. And then it again goes back to the same seed, isn't it? Now, when you are looking at the rope and snake situation, has the rope become a little bit small because of the snake? Or does it remain exactly the same? So there are two expressions of creation theory. One is called Parinamavada, another is called Vivartavada. Parinama is the theory of transformation. That means milk has become yogurt. It had lost some of its properties and appears to be different. Whereas the rope snake example gives us, really speaking, the rope had never become the snake. It appears because of our problem. You see, nothing happens to the rope, but it appears for us. So usually dualists use that first idea that something, God has truly become transformed into this world by a mysterious process. So when the milk becomes transformed into yogurt, the milk had lost its milky nature and it's become yogurty nature. And it hurts a little, that's why yogurt means that which hurts me is hurts, yogurtati, it yogurta. That means God had lost his godly nature and has become something else. Is it possible that God can lose its godly nature? Never possible. So the Dvaitins have to give some special explanation. He has a special power by which he can transform himself and yet remain the same. Logic doesn't understand it. Whereas the Advaitins have a different problem. Vivartavada means something is there but it appears as something else. Now what is it that makes it appears as something else? Oh, that is called Maya. Oh, so this Brahman has got Maya within it. Maya is ignorance. Maya means ignorance. So knowledge has got ignorance as its inherent property. Otherwise, how can it come out? Now they cannot wriggle, they want to wriggle out of that sticky situation. And they cannot wriggle out. And then they say, it is, what is Maya? Maya is that which is inexplicable. I am not going to explain it to you. And go on talking about it for 10 years. How it is inexplicable. You see, what is the point? Through the intellect, whatever we are trying to understand the reality, it is not possible. The intellect can only point out. It's a pointer. Go this way, you will be all right. But it is never reality, replica of the reality. No example is a replica of a reality. It is only pointer. How these people, intelligent people, fall into this trap. There was a big zoo. And one man entered there. And he was lost soon. Very big zoo. He doesn't know he wants to get out, exit point. So the authorities have kindly provided a lot of boards there. The whole map of is there, and then you are here. They point out, you write, you are here. Now comes the intelligence of the authorities. That if you cannot read this, the office is 200 yards to the left. If he can read it, then he will find his way out. But if he can't read it, how can he read that the office is 200 yards? So, from within Maya. We are already within Maya. It's not possible for us because the nature of Maya is ignorance. Being in ignorance, two things happen. Under the spell of ignorance, two things happen. The first thing is, we do not know what is the true knowledge. Because ignorance, the nature of ignorance is to cover up the knowledge. The second point is, it doesn't allow us to know that we are under the spell of ignorance. If we know that we are under the spell of ignorance, are we in ignorance? Are we outside ignorance? So you see, this is a peculiar nature. That is why then the dilemma comes, the question comes. Then what is the way out? If we are under ignorance, what is the way out? So Maya or ignorance is divided into two categories. Avidya Maya, Vidya Maya. That is ignorant ignorance, learned learned ignorance. Sri Ramakrishna gives a very clear idea about it, that Vidya Maya is desirable because it takes you out of itself. And Avidya Maya takes you deep into the maze. Somehow it works. So what is that? Vidya Maya, you attend Swami Dayatmananda's talks, that is Vidya Maya. I didn't want to say that, don't attend Swami. You also attend Swami Yogatmananda's talks, and he will tell about me, and then you will come and attend my talks, that is Vidya Maya. So, we are under, but still within the Maya, because Maya is based upon knowledge. You see, if there were to be no knowledge, what would you be ignorant of? Do you see the point? If there were to be no rope, where would be the snake? It is impossible even to think of these are such deep matters. Ignorance is really based, supported by knowledge only. And the beauty of it is, suddenly we get, oh, I was ignorant. I was ignorant. Recognition of ignorance is the antidote to ignorance. It is inbuilt. It is inbuilt. So anything that is Maya, there is something inbuilt which is self-destructive. Ignorance is self-destructive. Sooner or later, it is self-destructive. In a logically, I want to confuse you sometimes, logically. What is the nature of time? Change, isn't it? What is the nature of time? Change. So, does time also change? Means does change also, because it is the nature of change is changeability, does change change?
We say times have changed.
So change also changes. When change changes, into what does it change? Changelessness, because it is based upon something changelessness only. This is the symbolism of Mother Kali. Kali means Kala, deified. But it is based, always you will notice, Kali is standing upon whom? Mahakala. That's why I make fun of Americans. They were very proud. This feminist movement started in America. What do you mean by that? It started in India 10,000 years back. The woman standing on her husband.
And dancing also there.
wasting him like anything. The poor fellow has no option but to lie down and take it. Do you understand? That is the only way to, the secret of controlling a husband. The other way is difficult, you know. Then one has to be a monk. Okay. So do you see the point? Ignorance itself is an inbuilt because it is based upon knowledge. And that knowledge, sooner or later, it will have to manifest. That's what happens. It's called evolution. Hinduism has recognized it long back. That's why one goes through his student life, married life, and semi-retired life, and ultimately, fourth ashrama is called the renunciate's life, and even get out of that renunciate's life. Evolution. From the brahmacharya.com, when your knowledge improves, you go into married.com, grihastha.com, then vanaprastha.com, then sannyasa.com. You have to get out of that also. That is called Paramahamsa Avastha. What is called beyond all ashramas, Atyashrami. Nistrai punye pathi vicharataha ko vidhi ko nishedhaha. No rules, even sannyasa has rules and regulations. But a Paramahamsa has absolutely no rules and regulations at all. And we ultimately, sooner or later, like an escalator, life is designed so that we slowly transcend these states and reach our real state. So if you want to stand, it takes a long time. But if you are in a hurry, you can walk. Intense yearning is called walking. So now the point is, where from this whole universe has come? Who created the dream individuals? There must be one dreamer who created this entire universe, one waker, and who imagined the whole thing. That is what is meant here. This universe, undifferentiated at first, like a sprout within the seed. And we have discussed 2 points about seed. What is it? First of all, it is undifferentiated. And we have to go to that state. And secondly, even more important, a seed has its own nature. And if this entire universe, before creation, who was there? Only God was there. And this universe could have come only from God. And if this universe has come from God, then what would be the nature of this universe? It must necessarily be only God. And if it is necessarily God, there is no option but to remain as oneself. The whole purpose of life is how to get rid of all these extraneous things and be what one always is. And if whether we practice sadhana or not, life would make us do it sooner or later. Sri Ramakrishna expresses it so beautifully and says, even the laziest child will not go without food, but he might get it at midnight. Yeah. So there is no option of either becoming divine or not. There is an option of, do I want to get it in the morning or do you want to get it at midnight? This is the only option. So who does this? This is done by Paramatma himself. Here Dakshinamurty, Ishvara. Paramatma himself does it. The Creator does it. And he is described as a Mayavi. Mayavi means Sri Ramakrishna gives beautiful, all these ideas he discusses in a very simple language but with profound meaning. He says, the magician alone is real and the magic is unreal in the sense that magic makes us forget the magician and focus only on the magic. We must always remember the magic depends upon whom? On the magician. And the magic comes out of whom? Out of the magician. So if we can catch hold of the magician, then all our problems will be, because the whole magic will become ours. Then we become the magicians. Then we can do whatever we like. This whole world becomes a divine sporting place. It's a wonderful idea. So, he projects by his own desire, not by your desire, by his desire. Wonderful. God has his own desire. Does God has a desire? We have desires. Does God has a desire? Yes, he has a desire. Otherwise, why should he create? And if he has a desire, he has to come down. That is my understanding of an incarnation of God. Why God comes down into this world? Because he had a desire to create this world. He created it. Who created this mess? And who is going to clean? Law of karma applies there. If he has created this mess, who is going to clean up? So it is not compassion he is coming down. It is the law of karma. Suppose he didn't create, he need not have come down. Then Sri Ramakrishna need not have prayed, oh mother, keep together a little bit of, like in the skull hung together in the British Museum. He need not have prayed, because in the first place, why did you create this world? And why did you create this mess? And then who is responsible? Dosh karano egoma amishokhat sholile dube morishama. No one's fault, my mother. I dug a well with my own hands. God being wise, he was the first to realize dosh karano He realized it, but it's too late. So he's to clean up this mess. He is a Mayavi, he is a magician or a great yogi. Because only a great yogi, no ordinary magician can produce this. What a Maya! Unimaginably big universe. He is called Sarvagna, Sarvashaktiman, all-knowing and all-powerful. Why he is all-knowing? He must know. Even there is an insect within a huge mountain, there is a rock. Within that rock, there is a small hole. In that hole, there is a small insect. And he has to think of that insect and say, how is this insect going to survive? Then he produces food for that. ತಳ್ಳನಿಸಿದರು ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಹಾಡಿದೆಯಲ್ಲ, ಕಲ್ಲೊಳಗೆ ಇರುವ ಕ್ರಿಮಿಕೀಟಗಳಿಗೆ. Who gives food? Even that insect, which is deep within a huge stone. From outside you don't see anything, but within that it survives. How does it survive? Because he creates food and he has to look after. My child is here, I have to provide food for it. He provides food. This whole planets, stars, how many billions, and this is only one of is what is called create universes that we know of. It's a nice story. Once our Brahma got very annoyed with Lord Vishnu. He had some what is called logistic problem was there. He wanted to meet his boss. He went to his office. There was a receptionist sitting there. And she gave a number, sit here until you are called. And that number was running into some billiards. He said, I want immediate interview. She said, sit down there until you are called. Other Brahmas are waiting. He got what do you mean by other Brahmas? She opened the side door, and billions of Brahmas with their numbers there waiting for an interview. This Brahma's ego had come down. Oh, I am only one of them. How many universes? Unimaginable number of universes. Just imagine. I am not talking about religion, talking about from scientific point of view. How many billions and billions of galaxies? Within those galaxies, how many stars or systems? Within those systems, our solar sun is only one poor fellow. And he is also on the way out. That's why he must hurry to get mukti before him. Somebody said 2012, the universe, the world as we know is going to come. I was having a discussion with him. And he asked me, Swami, do you believe in it? I said, no, I don't believe in it. Because Thakur has come just now. Swamiji said, I gave food for 1,000 years. At least 1,000 years should pass before something happens. I am a believer in him. I asked him, do you believe it? He said, yes, Swami, I believe it. Immediately I told him, that will all your property to me. After that, he never raised it. What type of belief is this? So unimaginable, bigger universe, biggest universe within universe. And then we are only talking about visible universes. What about these different deities? Sri Ramakrishna had a vision of Swamiji, and each universe, his mind was ascending. And it is written, if you have read it, says the rulers of that the dwellers of that universe, unable to look up what is above them, his mind ascended ultimately to the plane of the indivisible. And there he beheld the 7 rishis. It's a divine mystery. In the indivisible, how did he distinguish 7 rishis sitting and meditating there? It's not our topic. This, how much God must be all-knowing to know even the tiniest creature of all these universes created by him. And then he must look after each one of their needs. That's why how much power he needs. If an insect prays, oh Lord, please save me from the other insect, how much immediately, suppose there is a devotee and praying, he has to go there running there, and he has to do something to rescue it. How much power he must have, how much knowledge he must have. That's why he says Mahayogiva, like the greatest yogi. And who is that yogi? Dakshinamurty, Lord Shiva, or God, is any name, God. And he, what does it? Projects. Creation is a wonderful idea, creation. Bible says God created this world out of nothing. People misunderstand. It is unscientific. What does it mean? It means if there was nothing, he himself was there. So this whole universe has come out of him. Out of whom? Out of him. That is why it is said, man is made in the image of God. No, Vedanta goes further and says, not only man, everything, even this carpet, that also has come out of God. If it has come out of God, what would it be? Only God. Here, I would like to give a very good example. It's a beautiful example. You have to listen carefully. Here is an object, say a table made out of wood. I am telling, don't say it is a table. Simply say it is an object, it is something we are experiencing. But for our purpose, it is a wooden table. You ask a termite, a woodworm, what is it? What does it say? It says food. You ask a carpenter, what is it? What does he say?
Wood.
It's a wooden table. Table, an object. Ask a physicist with an electronic microscope. What does he say? He says it is nothing but, quarks or superstrings, whatever name you give. Atoms, for simplified purpose, atoms or energy. Ask Sri Ramakrishna. What does he say? It is nothing but God. You see the point? This is the most wonderful example. We are convinced this is a wooden table. That's because we are human beings. But for a woodworm, it is looking at the same object in a different way. A physicist is looking at the same thing in a totally different way. And a God man is looking at the same object in a totally different way. Now what is this object? It is, all these are true. From there, for the woodworm, that is the reality. But for the human being, that is the reality. For the physicist, that's the reality. For God, that's the reality. Can something be four different realities to four different people, beings? Is it possible? It's not possible. So we say something is real knowledge, something is type of knowledge. That real knowledge is called real knowledge. The type of knowledge is called ignorance. Ignorance, not absence of knowledge, but distorted knowledge. What is the distorted knowledge? I coined a word, upgradable knowledge. You upgrade the woodworm and it upgrades itself into human being. Simultaneously, it upgrades its knowledge of that object into a wooden object. Then when it upgrades itself into a physicist level, then it upgrades knowledge. Then it upgrades itself into God man. Then there is no upgrade. There is no upgrade in that knowledge because that is the final knowledge. That is why the definition of Satya, what is truth? What is this?
It does not change.
Trikale apadhitam satyam. In time, it cannot be upgraded. In the past also, it was like that. Now also, it is like that. In future also, it will be like that. From this example, 2 points we have to learn. What are those 2 points? One point is, there is no universe or our perception of whatever remains is nothing but Satyam, truth only. Our perception is what makes it appear into different universes. This is the important point. What is the second point? We have to change. You don't change. When we say upgradable knowledge, the object is not changing. Our perception is changing. So this is what happens in time. This is called evolution. And from biological evolution to moral evolution and finally to spiritual evolution. What remains is the truth. So we call it, God is called in Hinduism Sat, Chit, and Ananda. So even a carpet, it is Satchidananda, because it is nothing but God. But because of certain gunas, the Chit and Ananda are hidden. Only one aspect is manifesting. What is that aspect? Sat, existence. It exists. And then the second aspect is there. When it comes with life, an inorganic thing becomes organic. Life, molecule. First, what is called celled amoeba or whatever you call it. Then a little bit of chit. I am an amoeba. I am an amoeba. Who are these? They say, I am a human. Oh, all right, you are all right. But I am an amoeba. Who is great? Amoeba is great. Amoeba thinks amoeba is great. Human being thinks human being is great. Yeah, that is why Dale Carnegie says in his book, how to influence people. He says, if you want to influence somebody, suppose you want to catch a fish, you decorate yourself most beautifully and say, fishy, I love you, come. It's not going to be, it's least bit interested in you. In fact, if there is another fish, female fish, and if it is asked to be a judge between you and it doesn't think twice. Who is more beautiful? See, that is the truth. We are ignoring at our own cost. So what is the point? We have to change. And as our perception changes, we also do. That is why Swami Vivekananda makes a wonderful statement. He says, God grows according to the growth of man. Oh, God grows. Does God grow? He never grows. But as man grows, his conception, idea of God grows. Changes means not for words, grows. We have to understand. Sri Ramakrishna gives the same thing in a different, slightly different way. There is a huge plain land and there is a huge curtain and there is a small hole. And we are looking through that small hole on the outside. How much can we see? Only tiny bit. And you enlarge the hole and you will see more and more and more. That is called holiness. The bigger hole, the holier you grow. So ultimately you remove the whole curtain and you become one with that reality. This idea must be clear. What are we talking about here? The object which we are interpreting as our universe is in reality is nothing but Paramatma. This is called Vivartavada, appearance theory. Nothing changes, but our perception changes something. That is most important. That is why ignorance is not absence of knowledge, but absence of complete perception. Now, I want to give you a practical illustration of it so that we understand this point very clearly. Now, you look at me. Are you looking at me? Please do this experiment for me. Put your finger like this and look at me. You can see only a small bit of me at any given time, is it not? Now, if you think that is me, what you are perceiving is complete me, that is called ignorance. Remove this barrier, then you see. So even now you don't see, you only see a part of me, only outside me. You don't know, but remove. That Swamiji makes a beautiful observation. if a chemist pursues his chemical science to the ultimate, then you will see every element is nothing but God. If a physicist pursues his physics to the ultimate, then he will see every element is nothing but God. Ultimately, we are slowly progressing towards that, where we see larger and larger. Now scientists have become very wise. So they have developed what is called a holistic view. Everything is interconnected. We are all, previously also they were having holistic view only. Now they developed holistic view. The only difference is, previously there was no W. Now they added one W. Holistic, W-H-O, whole. View the whole thing as one single unit. And who create? So this is what is the point? He is like a musician, like a great yogi. It is a projection. It is not a creation. It is a projection. It's a wonderful idea, like a cinema projector. Before the cinema starts, what do you see? Screen. Beautiful screen. Now the moment the film comes in between the light and the screen, then the screen disappears. But what do you see now? Moving figures. What were you seeing before? Screen. Screen means what? Light. Screen means light. But the undistorted light. Now when you see the picture, what is a picture? Distorted light. Somewhere black, somewhere little less black, somewhere little more black. It is nothing but light. Projection. What happens to the screen? Nothing happens. What happens to the projector? Nothing happens. What happens to the film? Nothing happens. But it appears to be something marvelous. You enjoy it. We enjoy it because we know it is a film. But if we think it is real, then we are in trouble. That is the point. The whole thing is a projection. And who is projecting? There is a projector. Who is the projector? The Divine Lord Himself is the projector. That is the meaning of the second verse. That from first verse says, we as individuals are creating our universes in the form of dream, dreamless and waking state. The second verse tells us, it is the Divine Lord who created all of us like a great yogi, like a great magic projects. Now what is the relationship between that great yogi and this small yogi? There must be a relationship, otherwise separation will remain, fear will remain. So long as separation is there, that's what is being told in the third one. Yasyaiva sphuranam sadatmakam asat kalparthakam bhasate sakshat tattvamasi iti veda vajasa yo bodhayati ashritam yat sakshat karanat bhaved na punaravrittihi ambhonidhau tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye namaidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. Whose reality appears as the unreal creation, who imparts immediate knowledge through the Vedic saying, thou that art, to those who seek his refuge. Because of whose direct knowledge one hour again returns to this ocean of birth and death. Salutations unto him, Sri Dakshinamurti, in the form of my own teacher. This is called Asi Padartha Vivarana. First, the reality about individual. Second, the reality about the universe. So, this individual and the universe must be brought together. And then only the realization will be complete. And in this third it says, Yasyaiva sphuranam, whose reality. Constantly this reality is there. It doesn't change. If it changes, it is not reality. How does it change? Now, very quickly, let me give you this illustration. Here is a rope, here is a snake. You perceive the rope. What do you say? This is, pay attention, this is A plus rope. Then you see a snake. What do we say? This is a snake. Do you get the point? This is A is common to both the rope and also the snake. But rope and snake are changing. Is that point clear? So, that this is never going to change. In our case also, what are you doing? I observe, listen carefully, this is important. I am sitting. What are you doing? I am sleeping. What are you doing? I am dreaming. What are you doing? I am eating. Enough. So I am. Nobody can change. But sitting, sleeping, talking, etc., dreaming can be changed. That is where our problems start. That is why no problem with aham. Problems start with ahankara. Kara is always problematic. Telugu kara is even more problematic than American kara. Kara means chilies. There is no problem with aham. I am. This is what happens. I am awake. I am dreaming. We say that. I was dreaming. Nobody says I am dreaming, though it is true sometimes also. But I was dreaming. I am a dreamer. But what do you say? I am a sleeper. You don't say. You can't say. It's for others to say. Others would say. Only I am, it stops. That is why it is so blissful. What is the point here? The teacher comes and tells, do you know who you are? You just say I am, that's fine. Don't say anything further. Don't say anything further. To Irish people, Irish people, they drink a lot. They were traveling in a ship, the ship was wrecked. And they caught hold of one plank and floating. Days and days and days together, they were floating. They didn't see any chance of escaping. So one Irishman became repentant. He was trying to, oh Lord, if you rescue us from this situation, his idea was, I will never again touch a drink. He was about to say that. The other fellow, this fellow was praying, oh Lord, if you save us from this situation, I will. Immediately that fellow put his hand on this fellow's mouth and don't say anything, I see a ship coming. So, what does a teacher do? He says, the Lord never says, I am so and so and so. He always says, aham, aham, soham, soham. We all say that, but we forget it. Do you say soham? Do you ever say soham? You think you don't say. 24 hours we are saying. So, hum. Yes, that is why it is called Hamsa. So, reverse it is called Hamsa. 24 hours. Ajapa japa. What is called mechanical repetition, natural repetition, and unstoppable repetition. Soham, soham. But we again associate, I am this, I am that, I am a baby, I am a young man, I am an old man. We cannot say, fortunately, I am a dead man. It's for others would say, complete it for us. Yeah. So this is our trouble. The Lord never says, that's why in the Bible it is there, who are you, Lord? He says, I am what I am. Because if he says, I am Bush, not President, burning bush, that is one thing I am sure he would never say. It's a joke. He has to admit that, yes, I didn't want to admit, but I am President Bush. He has to say, no option. So, that is why it's called God. Whereas in our case, we are also exactly the same thing, but we add these unwanted things, and that has to go. So he is slowly leading us. Do you remember when you were waking, what were you saying? I am the waker. And when you were dreaming, what were you saying? I am the dreamer. When you were sleeping, what were you saying? He said, bhai, don't change. Tell exactly what you are. Because whatever you say, you are in trouble. The only way you are not in trouble is simply say, I am. Because there is never going to change. And if you can understand that, because that is what God also is saying, that is also you are saying, then what is the difference between this I am and that I am? There is absolutely no difference. I am a tree and I am an elephant. There is a difference. I am a small wave and a big wave. I am a small Swami, big Swami. There is a difference. Yeah. There was a discussion when we went to India. 3 Swamis were sitting there in Madras, in Kamalanandaji's place, students. Then he said, what is this cloth? It doesn't appear to be half orange. He said, how do devotees measure our spirituality? Whosoever's cloth is deeper, that person is more spiritual. So he said, you are more spiritual than me. That's why simply people are impressed. Devotees come and first they look at the cloth and they make pranams first. Reluctantly they make pranams at other places. The Swami is telling, he is my senior, make pranams there, and they look doubtful.
Also linked to the beard, Maharaj. Beard is important.
And that is, both of us are equal. Unfortunately. Yeah, not only length of the beard, the color of the beard. The whiter it is, the far better it is. Yeah. So, do you see the point? When we say, I am, what is the difference between you and me? There absolutely is no difference. I am a body, I am young, I am old, I am this, I am that, then there is difference. This is what the teacher gives that. That is why it is said, whose reality? He is real. I am is the real, but appears as the unreal creation, imparts immediate knowledge through the Vedic saying. What is that? Thou art that. Tat tvam asi. And for whom? To those who seek refuge. Not to everybody. Refuge means what? Those who believe 100%, yes, what my teacher says is absolutely true for them. And what is the benefit of this knowledge? Once we get this knowledge, one never again returns to this ocean of birth and death. And we will not have to suffer anymore. That is why salutations unto him, Sri Dakshinamurty, in the form of my own teacher. So first verse, Vishwam Darpana Drishyamana, tells about the nature of the individual. Second verse, Bijasyamkura, tells about the nature of the Divine Lord. And third verse brings these two together, separate pieces, Aham and Brahma. Says Aham Brahmasmi. Tat and Tvam are exactly of the same things. asi, that which joins them, and the realization is complete. What does the man say? Aham. What does the teacher say? Tattvamasi, the word that. How does the pupil reply? I am Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi. And the teaching of Dakshinamurty Stotram, really speaking, is over with these 3 verses. The rest is only an explanation, repetition of other views, etc., which we will cover very quickly. The 4th verse is very beautiful. Again he says, Nana Chidra Ghatodara Sthita Mahadeepa Prabha Bhaswaram Jnanam Yasya tu Chakshuradi Karana Dvara Bahi Spandate Janamiti Tameva Bhantum Anubhati Etat Samastam Jagat Tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. And he says here, he whose knowledge is like the light of a shining lamp placed inside a pot with many holes, shining forth through the sense organs like sight, etc., who shines as consciousness as I know, because of which this entire creation appears. Salutations unto him, Sri Dakshinamurti, in the form of my own teacher. Very briefly, this is the meaning. Imagine a pot, and imagine that pot has got 5 holes. Imagine in that pot, within that pot, there is a brilliant lamp burning. And this light comes out, it's completely covered excepting 5 holes. Then the light is streaming forth from within those 5 holes. And those who are outside, they will see those 5 lights, beams of lights. And this is what is happening. Each one of us are like that pot. That is why it's called Purusha. Who is within? What is that lamp? Purusha. Purusha means Puri Sete iti Purusha. He who infills this town or city or pot is called Purusha. Puri means a city. Now you see, we are seeing, you are looking at me. Your eyes are one hole. You are hearing me, another hole. You are smelling, that is another hole. You are tasting, another hole. You are touching, another hole. You see, what a wonderful thing. So, I am looking at you. When I am looking at you, actually what I am looking at? I am not looking at your eyes. I am looking at the person. You see, we never say the eyes are beautiful. You see, this person is beautiful because he has these eyes. This person is the ears of this person. Through that you are hearing. I am hearing. I am contacting you. You are contacting me. Is an important truth about this. Really speaking, when I look, oh, you are such a nice person. Am I talking about your body or am I talking about you? Even though it appears, I like you, but actually when we look at any person, we are judging that person's qualities rather than that person's outside. There may be a most beautiful, what is called person, but none is attracted to that person unless that person has some quality within. You see, we think that we are attracted to the body, but body doesn't get attracted to the body, and the soul doesn't get attracted to the body. The soul can get attracted only to the soul. The body is jada. Jada means non-conscious. Therefore, the body, your eyes do not know that, oh, this person's eyes are so beautiful. Do you understand what I am talking about? Your eyes look at me, but they are like windows. Does the window know that the window is beautiful? Does the window know the outside scene is so beautiful? Who says the window is beautiful? A person. Who says the scenery is beautiful? a person. When we look at each other, it is not the person's body, it is the expression through the body and through the mind which really attracts us. Think over it. That is what attracts or repels us. This is the most important thing for us to understand. So who is that person? So my individual soul endowed with my body and mind, and your individual soul means endowed with your particular body and mind. It judges my individual soul, I judge your individual soul. It is the soul interacting with each other, because the mind has no consciousness to interact. The body also has no consciousness to interact. What is it that really interacts? No, how do you know? How do you know that what I am saying is true? Is it imagination or is it the truth? How do you know? You may ask, there is a simple thing. That suppose I am speaking very nicely, very nice joke. It happened like that, as I was giving a talk, very nice joke. One fellow went to sleep. Suddenly, I was telling the joke, and everybody burst out into laughter. That woke him up. And suddenly he saw everybody laughing. He also started laughing without knowing what was the joke about. And everybody noticed it. And that was the biggest joke. Do you see what happens? If the consciousness is absent, then we would not to speak of what is outside, we won't be aware of our own body. See, sometimes we just slide like that. None of us want to appear to be sliding like that, especially when the Swami is sitting and glaring at. But unconsciously, habitually, that the body slides. Is that person aware that his body is sliding like that? What is the point I am making? It is only consciousness, but it never works directly, excepting through for a realized soul. It always works through the medium of body and mind. But because the realized soul's mind becomes completely filterless, because he made it like a glass. That's why he sees the other person also only as God. Because he sees through the body and through the mind. What does he see? The light. This light within sees the light within the other one. That's why Holy Mother, what does she see within herself? Divine Mother. I am the Mother. And what does she see in us also? Divine children. She doesn't see anybody else. Divine children. Our body is dirty, mind also a bit dirty like a cloth. And she is ready to wash by her grace, but she sees but she doesn't see. Means she knows, but she doesn't take offense. A mother never takes offense at her children, however dirty they are. We are all grown up, mustached babies. Swami Vivekananda used to say, we are all like mustached babies. This is the only difference between babies and mustached babies. Yeah. So you see the point? Through each one of us, how is our eye able to see? Because of that light. Switch off that light. This is staring like that. The eye is staring like that. But it can never really see anything. The ear cannot hear unless there is that consciousness. This is the most marvelous thing. This is what is being expressed here. Whose knowledge is shining like a lamp placed inside a pot with many holes shining forth like the sense organs. It's all inside there is a driver sitting and then like doing this. And if we can realize that, then we become free. How do we realize that? There are various ways. One is what is called three avasthas: waking, dream and dreamless. I am not the waker, I am not the dreamer, I am not the sleeper. Another is Panchakosha Vivarana. I am not the body, I am not the vital force, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect, I am not the emotion or ananda, the knowledge, vijnanamaya kosha. This is another way of saying. Then who am I? After removing all these, whatever remains, that is what I am. That is that light. Here light means what? Light means knowledge. To know. Darkness means? Yeah. We always ignore that. Is it daylight or night now? Is it day or night? Day. You see the light? What do you see? Do you see the light? Do you see the light? You don't see the light at this. What do you see? When you see an object clearly, then you know that it is light. Because there is something wonderful, if I have not misunderstood. When you go beyond the stratosphere, what appears? Completely dark, excepting some pinpoints of the stars, nothing appears. Is it not amazing? Pitch darkness. Now tell me, here we see everywhere light, light, light. But why is it that after the stratosphere we go above the stratosphere, and why does it appear to be pitch dark? Any explanations?
There is no reflection.
Yes, that is correct. There is not even one dust particle. You say, there is no object here. I don't see any object here. But it is as infinite number of dust particles is there which you see. If you want to see, you observe a sunbeam. You will see how much dust is there. Every bit of space is filled with some dust particle. That is why the dust is reflecting the sunlight. But if there is to be no dust, you will not see anything here. What a marvelous thing it is. So we never see light. And least bit we don't see darkness also. What is darkness? Absence of, an inability to see anything is called darkness. Ability to see is called light. Can you believe me? When I am saying I don't see light, you don't see light. But the most important thing is, you look at this watch. Whenever you are able to look at this watch, you are looking, really speaking, you are experiencing two things. You are experiencing light, you are experiencing this watch in the influence of the light. But we never acknowledge the light. We only see, I see the watch. You don't say, I also experience the light simultaneously. If we can do that, we become yogis. What do I mean? What I mean, I see this watch. I see this watch is revealed by the light of consciousness. If the Atman's consciousness is absent, you can see very simple thing. I am trying to put it across. I don't know that I am succeeding. If your consciousness is absent for 1 millisecond, would you perceive this? No. You won't perceive anything. Because your consciousness is focused here, you are able to see this on the screen of your mind, isn't it? What is the point? The point is, it is the light of consciousness which alone illumines both our body, our mind, and through our body and mind, what we call this entire universe. In fact, that universe, our body, our mind, are nothing but what is called filtered experiences in our imperfect mirror called mind. This is the idea. Don't think that we can understand it with one hearing. Hearing is first thing. Then go on thinking about it, go on thinking until all doubts are removed. Doubts are very difficult to get rid of. One of our Swamis visited a lunatic asylum. He wanted to see how it will be. One officer came forward. And he took the Swami inside, explained everything so beautifully. When did he come? What is his name? What is his disease? What is his prospect? And the Swami was terribly impressed by encyclopedic knowledge. Took him outside the gate, said, Swami, so glad you came to visit all of us. You know that of all the people here, only you and I are not insane. All are insane, lunatic, excepting you and me. But sometimes I have my doubts about you also. He was one of the lunatics there. Lunatics. So what is the point here? Constantly the light of consciousness, through this limitation of this body and mind, is trying to come out and experience. Because it is coming through the limitation of body and mind, it can only perceive bodies and minds, nothing else. That is what we call Vishwam, the universe. There is no universe. Remove this filter from our light, then what is inside and what is outside, both will disappear. There is no inside, there is no outside. There is no here, there is no there. There is no now, there is no then. Then what remains is aham. Only that is Purana. Doesn't say aham, aham, aham. Am I aham? Did I forget myself? Am I right? Those doubts will not come, because all doubts will come only when there is a doubting filter. When there is no doubting filter, doubt is impossible. So Ramana Maharshi says, you can doubt everything, but you cannot doubt the doubter. Profound statement. You can doubt anything, but you cannot doubt the existence of the doubter. Do you see the point? There must be somebody even to doubt the doubter. So ad infinitum. So that ultimate reality, through the light of which everything is made possible, that is constantly shining in the form of aham, aham. But it doesn't stop there for us. We add to it aham, dehosmi, aham, I am the body, I am the mind, etc., etc. But what comes out when I see you, what is perceiving? The consciousness. When I am hearing, what is perceiving? Consciousness. Let me put it slightly differently. When I am seeing, what is seeing? Information. Information is knowledge. When I am hearing, what is it? Information. It is knowledge. So, only the knower has knowledge. Do you see the point? All these are instruments. Ultimately, I want to know. What is this? I want to know. And that is an idea in our mind. Just as the elephant in your dream, is it an elephant or is it an idea? It's an idea, because no real elephant has come. In fact, every real elephant also is an idea only. There is nothing else. So that is the point of giving the analogy of the dream. Here also, waking state also. I don't know who you are. I only know an idea in my mind of what you are. But if I can imagine, even by mistake, that you are not a human being, but you are a divine being, thereby I am happy. What is your headache? After all, we want to be happy by imagining you as divine. Even if you are not divine, by imagining, I get the benefit. What is your headache? In fact, you don't know what I am thinking. And so I am very happy. If I am happy, that is all that counts. Anyway, this is a little bit elaboration of what we already had discussed. Then it says, Deham pranam api indriyani api chalam buddhincha shunyam viduhu. I will not go into this. But the 5th and 6th verses are, the 5th verse is to counter people's wrong views about Atma. Some people say the body is the Atma. Some people say prana, the vital force is the Atma. Some people say sense organs is the Atma. Some people say the mind is the Atma. Some people say the ahankara, egotism is the Atma. Some people say the intellect is the Atma, etc., etc. It goes. But when we say some people, what it really means, we are that some people. When you are ravenously hungry, there is a film, Madagascar. Have you seen that Madagascar? That have you seen? The lion and the zebra, they have a tiff. And then the lion is very hungry. And the zebra is running. How does the lion view the zebra? Have you seen? Madagascar, rare steak. The zebra is not running. Steaks are running like that. Wants to go and grab the steaks. Then you are looking. There are restaurants. Where this live fish is kept there. And you can go and pick up which fish you like. When you are looking at that fish, what are you looking at? Fried fish. I love you. And the poor fish also heard it. How do I reply? I also love you. Shall I reply like that? It looks like that Vedanta. Choiceless choice. Do you see what I am talking about? These are different views. When we are hungry, we are identified with the body. When I feel tired, I am identified with the prana. When I am not enthusiastic, I am identified with my mind. When I have deep thinking, deep understanding or misunderstanding, I am identified with my intellect. Then when I am enjoying nice bliss, I am identified with the Anandamaya portion. We are the people talking about. They are all partial identifications with reality. There is no unreality, we said. Partial identification. But if we want to have 100% happiness, we should identify with the very source, with the root, which is the pure consciousness. That is the idea. Then he is also describing as a matter of analogy. What is it? That during deep sleep, what happens during the deep sleep? That who remains as pure existence in the deep sleep caused by Maya's power, withdrawing the senses like the sun or moon covered during an eclipse. But upon awakening remembers I slept. Salutations unto him, Sri Dakshinamurty, in the form of my own teacher. Through the experience of deep sleep, he is teaching a great lesson to us. What is it? In the deep sleep, we don't know anything. After awakening, what is I slept well? I slept. And now I remember I slept. Who can say I slept? Who can say I slept? Only upon awakening. This is the situation given. So this example, one point is that I don't think I am the body, I don't think I am the mind, and that is why I had such wonderful rest. I am, that is the only experience. But the analogical lesson is, oh my Lord, how many ages it looked I have been sleeping, thinking that I am the waker, dreamer and sleeper. By thy grace, by the grace of God, through the grace of the Guru and scripture and through sadhana, I awoke now and slept. Oh, all these days I have been sleeping like an ignoramus. Now I know I am none other than that divine self. Through this we have to learn the lesson that if you can get so much of joy, so much of knowledge of non-duality, When do you get experience of non-duality?
Deep sleep.
Only deep sleep. Because there is no duality at all. There is no body mind. You don't say mine. In deep sleep, what is duality? To be aware, this is me and this is something I am experiencing. What is non-duality? Only I am. When does that state occur? Only during the deep sleep. But it occurs naturally without our control. But if we can experience the same thing consciously, that is called samadhi. So that is our goal. So it is an illustration to say that when a person awakens and as though he slept, supana jupari. I have slept like the whole time, maybe 60 million years have passed like a dream. Abha prabhata prakata, gnana bhanuke prakasha, vasana saraga mosha, nividata matare. Janaki saki kripa, jagavati sujana jiva. By the grace of Rama. How does Rama's grace come? In the form of Guru's grace. When God is gracious, He sends Guru. Guru means direction giver, GPS. GPS, you know that? Guru Parampara system. GPS. When Guru comes, he doesn't say, I discovered this knowledge. He says, I got it from my Guru. And his Guru says, I got it from my Guru. And then that origin, from whom that knowledge came, Adi Guru, he is called, it is called knowledge. Chit. Not he, not she, not it, but knowledge. It's all, borrowed. Everybody is borrowing. So we are all borrowers only. That is why the whole American economic system has gone down. Why? Because we are only borrowers, not paying back at all. That is the root cause. Now you understand how Vedanta is useful. We have to give back also, not only borrow. That means we should not remain eternally the borrowers, sishyas, ignorant people. When we become realized souls, then God will pass this knowledge to someone else. And the population also comes down. And the economic system also will improve. What is the greatness of a realized soul? Is the most economical person. Even we, trying to realize God, most economical. You know why? Because we don't spend one single penny from our ashrama. Whatever devotees bring, we eat. And this dress, 10 years, 15 years, the same dress goes on. That is our sleeping dress, that is our bathing dress, that is our swimming dress, that is our dinner party dress, lunch party dress, day dress, night dress, it is the same dress. And if I forget my clothes in UK and come here, I can borrow a hat. So nobody finds out any difference between, That is why monasteries thrive. Do you see the point? So we have to give and take. Life is all about give and take. One young man was traveling in a train. Unfortunately, opposite him one successful merchant was sitting, who was waxing eloquent. Life is all about give and take. The young man was puzzled. What do you mean by give and take? The merchant explained. See, what is this philosophy, give and take? You give and I take. That is how I became rich. So, what are we talking about? This analogy that how much we receive from the Guru Parampara. Through God's grace, I get awakened from this so-called long time had passed. Oh my God, how much time do I need? Again, the dream example is very useful because in dream, One dream may seem to be an aeon, but it might have been, from the waking point of view, only few milliseconds. Do you see? Time is very, very relative. So it may appear, 84 lakhs of births, my God, my God. No God. It is like, as though you are dreaming. When you wake up, I dreamt as though 84 lakhs of times I have been born. Narada story, do you remember? Maya. How much time did it take for him to get married, to have children, to have lost everything? It's only few milliseconds. That's why time is very relative. Yeah. Time, the time depends upon our state of mind. If you are unhappy, time passes very slowly. Yeah. One preacher was preaching and he was about to give a long sermon, but he did not know how to start it. So there was one fellow sitting next door to the exit. He asked him, where shall I start? He said, start 1 second before ending. So that he can get out. Wonderful. So this verse tells the recollection. This verse tells us that just as we experience tremendous bliss in deep sleep, if we can consciously get rid of duality by the grace of the Guru, and only through the grace of the Guru, we can experience how long? Eternity. Because waking, dreamless state, they work only in time. When you get out, then you get out of the grip of the time. Time is death. That is why Kala is another name for death. Yeah. That is why Lord Shiva wears snakes. Why? Snake, another name for snake is Kala, time. Kala means death. In Bhagavad Gita also, what is the name of God? Arjuna asks, who are you? What does he say? Kaloham lokakshayakrit pravruddho lokaan samahartum iha pravruddha rite pitvam na bhavishyanti sarve. What a wonderful. I am time. Time means what? Even an unborn baby is dead even before he is born. Because after birth he starts counting. Interesting. When do we become old? Americans are very wary of being called old. People don't know. Because when that fellow is born 1 hour back, his relative, somebody comes to see him. How old is the baby? 1 hour old. Already, second hand. 1 hour old. The moment you buy the car and get out of the garage, already its value is depreciated quite a bit amount of, you know that. So, time. That is why Lord Shiva Mrityunjaya is a conqueror of death. Time is death, is beyond time. That is why these snakes, what can death do to him? Because he is beyond death. How can he be beyond death? Because he doesn't have a body, he doesn't have the mind. That's it. Time can work only with the body and mind. When there is no body and mind, time doesn't work. Even in our case, it doesn't work. In deep sleep, is there body and mind? No. That's why there is no time. You don't know how much time you have deep sleep. Deep sleep point of view, you don't count time. Upon waking up, time starts. How much deep sleep time I spent? 4 hours, 5 hours, not from the deep sleep point of view. You have become timeless at that time. We have to understand that. So then, the verse 7. Balyadishvapi jagradadishu tatha sarvasva avasthasvapi vyavruttasu anuvartamanam aham ityanta sphurantam sada swatmanam prakati karoti bhajatam yo mudraya bhadraya tasmai Sri Guru Murtaye nama idam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. Because this self manifests within as the ever-present sense of I, ever that remains in every state of life and experience, who reveals this self to his devotees by his auspicious gesture of wisdom. Salutations unto him, Sri Dakshinamurti, in the form of my own teacher. We all have this experience. When we were babies, what were you saying? I am the baby. When we were young, what were you telling? I am the young person. When we are middle-aged, what are we saying? I am a middle-aged person. When we are old, what are we saying? I am a old. How do you know that you are middle-aged? Do you know how to find out whether you are middle-aged? When the middle part of the body starts expanding, and you know that you have reached middle age. How do you know you have reached old age? Huh?
Hair's not good.
No. You start telling the same jokes and again, forgetting that you have told 100 times before. And the devotees laugh out of respect for you many times. Interesting thing happened, Swami Swahananda, he visited Houston. He's very fond of telling some of his jokes, but he must have told each joke. There was a devotee Chaya. So this Chaya, the moment Swami starts, I know. Swami got so annoyed and says, even if you know, pretend that you don't know. And then he starts. Then she immediately cries, I don't know this joke. Every time he starts telling, I don't know this joke. She knows, but that's her way of saying, I am not going to say that I know. Yeah. So old age, when does old age start? Charvita charva. Means you go on repeating the same thing. But Sri Ramakrishna is also an old yogi. What does he say? God exists, God exists, God exists, realize God. There is nothing. One page of gospel you read first. He repeats this again. That is why it is called Purana Satya. Ancient truth. Pura api nava. Until you realize, even though it is an eternal truth, it is a true eternal truth only. Until you realize it, it is a new truth. You may hear this 1,000 times, million times. Until you realize, it is every time it is a new truth. You see the point? Truth is only one. Okay. So, more or less, we have covered the most important points, but there are people who do not understand. They do not understand because they are not ready. They are not ready because they have not made the instrument ready. And how to make the instrument ready? So the 9th verse tells us the upasana. Upasana means, how do I contemplate that highest reality? So he says, Bhohu ambhansyanalo anilo ambaram aharnatho himamshu puman ityabhati characharatmakamitam yasyaiva motyastakam nanyat kinchana vidyate vimrushatam yasmat parasmat vibhoh tasmai Sri Gurumurtaye namaidam Sri Dakshinamurtaye. Simply filtered to the essence, what it means is, the Lord manifests to us in the form of Panchabhutas, 5 elements. What is this space? Air, fire, water and earth. Our bodies are made up of that. Our mind is made up of that. The entire outside world is made up of that. And the entire outside 5 Panchabhutas are sustaining constantly our. How it is a beautiful process. During the question answer session, you can bring up the subject. It is worth discussing. Okay. So let us meditate. When we look at the earth, don't say it is earth. What do you say it is? Brahman. When you look at the water, don't say it is water. What do you say? It is Brahman. When you look at fire, look at air, and look also at the space, say it is Brahman. When you look at food, what do you say? Brahman. When you look at the utensil, cooking pot, what do you say? Brahman. And when you are putting that food inside through a spoon, what do you say to the spoon? That is also Brahman. And when the food goes inside, for whose sake it is going? That is Brahman. This is the most wonderful yajna, concept of yajna. You must have read about it in the 4th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. But the important point is that whatever we look at is made up of 8 elements, 5 bhutas, and he says the sun and the moon, and then the consciousness within. If we can contemplate, look at any object and say, this is 5 elements, this is the result of sun, this is the result of the moon, and I am recognizing it as pure consciousness. That is our sadhana, that is our spiritual practice. And it is also true. We can discuss it a little bit. So what happens when this knowledge comes to us through this spiritual practice? Then we realize the truth. What is the truth? There is no I or you. All that is only one highest reality. The 10th verse of Dakshinamurty Stotram gives what is called Phalashruti. What is the result of if we really understand this hymn and develop devotion through the grace of God, through the grace of the Guru, then what is the result we gain? There must be a result. And what is that result? Sarvatmattvamiti sputikritam yasmat amushmin stave tena asya sravanat tadartha mananat dhyanatcha sankirtanat sarva atmatva mahavibhuti sahitam syat ishwaratvam swatah siddhet tat punah ashtada parinatam cha aishwaryam avyahatam. What it really means. Because the self's all-pervasiveness is clearly revealed in this hymn. By listening to it, reflecting upon it, meditating on it, Shravana, Manana and Nididhyasana, and reciting it constantly to remind ourselves and also others. One can gain enlightenment effortlessly and without impediments. And what is that result? With its great glory of being the self of all with 8-fold blessings. Then what do we become? Then we realize, I am the 5 elements. I am the sun. I am the moon. I am the Purusha, the light of consciousness. That means self-knowledge is the result of the understanding this particular hymn. All great Vedantic texts, their essence is only one. To teach us there is only one reality, and that reality is called Brahman, and thou art that Brahman. That would be the result. Once we know that I am Brahman, then we need not come back into these limited experiences. Then we will have unlimited experience of the oneself. Then we ever remain Sat, Chit, Ananda. This in brief is the Dakshinamurty Stotram. We will close it now. Om Jananim Sharadam Devim Ramakrishnam Jagadgurum Padapadme Tayo Sritva Pranamami Muhurmuhu.
Dear friends, it was really a great experience to hear this beautiful elucidation of this great hymn. I love this hymn for its tremendous power to instill the wisdom, Vedantic wisdom, and also the inspiration it provides to put those things in practice. And this elucidation given by revered Dayatmananda was very, very powerful. It is unique, I would say. I had heard the elucidation of this hymn by other Swamis also, and certainly that also was very good. But this is certainly a very great experience. It is, as he was telling, that it is not just hearing and understanding, but feeling the presence. And that presence he really created here through this discourse. It appeared, a lot of humor was there, but that humor really helped the understanding without being too tense. And that humor should subside and the essence should remain with us. It is, let us feel, let us pray that it happens like that. You all certainly join me in expressing our heartfelt gratitude to Dayatmananda ji, and we hope that he will come again to discuss such great, lofty ideas for the devotees here. Of course, his visit has one more lecture to complete in the afternoon. He will be giving a talk, and that is on a different theme. But as he told, all Vedanta, only one thing. So it is. The title of his talk is Religion Relevant Today? And that will be then followed by a music concert. Very well-known sitarist Anupama Bhagwat, who just entered as the talk was getting finished. She thought that that is the opportune moment to enter.